Welcome, everyone, to episode number 50 of Talking Kentucky. Boy, that feels good to say. My name is Coleman Scott. His name is Caden Holmes. I'm here on a beautiful night in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Caden is in Hanson, Kentucky. And Caden, can you believe that we're already at 50 episodes of Talking Kentucky?
Yeah, we're already at 15. We're coming on our 1 year anniversary of the show come up here, the next week or two.
Next
So
week, May
it's
11th.
flown by. It's already been started to be a good episode considering you were not muted this time, and you even got Rocket Cam back there, which I think he's going to pull out the win this weekend.
I think he is too. We're going to give you all the Derby predictions for tomorrow. I actually know nothing about the Derby tomorrow besides that Rocket Can is going to be running in the Derby. But we're going to try to figure some stuff out here together collectively.
Just look at him back there. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
He does. He looks focused.
He's gonna be he does look focused. He's gonna kill it.
Yeah, he does. So we're going to get into that. It's Cinco de Mayo today, otherwise known as May the 5th in English. It is Kentucky Oaks Day, which I don't. Caden, do you know anything about the Oaks tonight? Do you know? It may already be over for all I know. Have you heard anything about the Oaks?
The Kentucky Oaks.
Do you not know what the Oaks is?
No, should I?
Yeah, as a Kentuckian, you should know what the Oaks is. The Oaks is when it's the race with all the fillies, all the girl horses. They run on Friday night, and then all the boys run in the Derby on Saturday. So yeah, it's
we got some equality going here. Nice.
Yeah, we do have some equality going. So it's Kentucky Oaks. It's also Derby Eve, and last but not least, today is National Tuba Day. Okay, who are some of your favorite tuba players out there?
You know, it's not something I think about often, and I don't really know the last time I've listened to tuba, but I do know that they are a very vital part of any ensemble they are in. And you know what? I don't know what we would do without them as trumpet players.
That's right. We owe it to tubas, man. It's sousaphones and marching band. As Stephen, who was it? Stephen. What's his last name? Our supporter, Stephen Incada. Didn't he say Vanderbilt's baritones sounded like chainsaws?
Yeah. And so, to be fair, they really did. But speaking of Stephen, he said he's already had a margarita for both of us. So thank you, Stephen.
Well, that's great. Well, you know, I'm kind of an idiot because I made fajitas last night, and I should have made fajitas tonight because it's Cinco de Mayo. So I don't really know what I'm doing. But I didn't even realize it was Cinco de Mayo until I looked up the holidays and saw that it was Cinco de Mayo. That's how. That's sort of how.
Did you at least have fajita leftovers today?
I do have some leftover fajitas. So
there you go.
I also have stuff for a margarita, so maybe I should make a margarita.
Does Yingling count as celebrating Cinco de Mayo?
Is Pennsylvania Mexican? I don't think so. But
did not think I'd hear that question on tonight's show.
I had my first Yingling this week, by the way, and of all places to drink my first Yingling, I had it at my church. I had a Yingling at my church. We had a crawfish boil this week, which was also my first crawfish. I lived in Louisiana for 2 years, never had a crawfish until now. So I had my first crawfish, my first Yingling at church, Caden. That's a good first place to have beer and crawfish, I feel like, at church.
Yeah, I cannot believe I've been telling you about Yingling for at least a year now, probably way longer, and I cannot believe this is the first time you've had it. I don't think I led you in the wrong direction on that one, did I?
You didn't lead me in the wrong direction at all. I loved it. I'm getting that. My next 6-pack I buy, it's going to be Yingling. I'm telling you that right now.
Hey, it's not the world's oldest brewery or the country's oldest brewery for nothing.
That's right. And they don't just hand out blue ribbons, Caden. That's for sure. So to start off our episode tonight, we have a special guest, and it's going to be he's going to be our first of many special guests that we hope to have this summer. We're going to get into some more details about some people that we're going to have on this summer later in the show. But because he's leaving me tomorrow and he's headed to Atlanta, my roommate for the past 2 years, Steven Soto, is going to join the show tonight, and he's going to talk a little bit more about why he's leaving for Atlanta and sort of what he's done the past 2 years and what he's about to go do. So we're going to welcome Steven to the show now. Steven, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah, excited to be on y'all's 50th episode. So.
Oh yeah, hey, Caden, it's our golden episode. It's episode number 50. So it's what better way to celebrate than to have Steven on?
For sure.
So Steven, just tell me a little bit. I mean, I know, but our viewers don't know. What you've done the past 2 years at here at LSU, as if your background's a little bit of a clue there. But just tell everybody kind of who you are, what you do.
Well, first off, I want to thank you, Coleman and Caden, for having me on this episode and be able to talk. But yeah, these past 2 years, obviously, it's gone by so fast. But it all started. I mean, I graduated with my bachelor's in athletic training at UTSA down in San Antonio, Texas. And I knew I wanted to go somewhere big, especially in the SEC, because I knew there was numerous connections I could just, build myself around with. So LSU, accepted me into their program back in May of 2021. So that's where it all started, and obviously that's where moving in, to my apartment here, I got to meet also my awesome roommate Coleman, and things got rolling from there, and obviously like my background mentions. I just recently got a certified as an athletic trainer. Certified, it's a big thing for us. But these past 2 years, I was kind of like a student athletic trainer, and I've kind of rotated throughout numerous sports here that have included swim and dive, with the track and field team, with the LSU baseball squad, and then obviously the LSU football team, which we had an awesome season this past year, through the ups and downs under first-year head coach Brian Kelly. And I just finished up my rotation today, actually, at a nearby high school, doing athletic training. So it's been so much fun throughout the past 2 years. So,
yeah, that's awesome. And so tell me, like, so you did baseball and football were kind of your main thing. So give me, like, what are some of the highlights of your time? Give me your best football moment, which I probably already know the answer to, and then give me your best baseball moment too.
Well, for football, by far unmatched, it's got to be the Bama game, November 5th. I mean, to even have a solid ground in that game, to be competitive with Bama throughout the whole game, and just give them a run for their money, and for Coach Kelly in his first year against Saban, to go up against him like that and go for the 2-point conversion, which at first, I mean, all of us on the sideline were just going, "Why, Coach? Why?" But in the end, with the final result, winning Bama in Death Valley, it was just an amazing experience. With the field rush and everything, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And then baseball, obviously, I worked the 2022 season. I know obviously they're ranked number 1 this year, and they're having a much better season. But going back to that 2022 season, we had some couple of sweeps, and I remember the best series I think we had overall in that 2022 season had to come off of, if I can remember correctly, the Auburn series. We had lost the first game, I want to say, and I think that the next 2 games we had just dominated, like the best series we had that whole entire year. Before that, we had just come off a losing series against Texas A&M. They were red hot that season, and then Auburn, we just turned it around. However, the team did fall short come conference tournament and postseason. But by far, I think the Auburn series was the best. But yeah, I mean, I've been blessed to work with amazing squads in each and every sport. So yeah.
And so we actually had one of Steven's friends on the show last semester. We had on Jacob Morgan, who's an athletic trainer right now for Kentucky football. Who Steven? I forget how'd you meet Jacob? It's a
Right.
small world.
So back in the summer of 2019, him and I did a NFL summer internship, and we did that with the Houston Texans. And Jacob and I really connected, from day one during training camp in the summer. And we still remain in great contact with each other, to this day. And we both have a passion for athletic training, and everything about it. And I think he's actually um, landing a job right now in Florida with his fiance. And so things are going well for him. I'm proud of him and of Jacob and what he's accomplished. But yeah, and then I actually did another year in 2020 with the Texans as well as an intern. And so that's really how I found a love for athletic training in the professional level, and that's why I guess I am where I am now. So
Steven, just because I'm curious, Coleman and I are trumpet players, and so we're used to when we apply for colleges, we have to play an audition for any job. We have to play for them and everything. So you're an athletic trainer. So whenever you were applying to LSU, for example, what went into that process, and then what went into the process of becoming certified?
Right. So for all those interested in applying for athletic training, applications and all that stuff and being certified, you just really got to put your name out there, submit your resume, make sure you have a good resume out there, to see, to really let the employers know, and the schools know exactly who you're all about, where you're coming from, your experience, and all that nature. And then to become certified, you have to go through what's called a credential. It's like a credentialed school, and there's like a website. It's called Katie, and there's a whole bunch of schools that have that you can become certified, and you have to go now. Now they're requiring a master's for everyone who wants to be a full-time certified athletic trainer. And so LSU, back when I enrolled in 2021, was a brand new master's program, entry level, that offered that. And so that's where it all started for me. And now at the end of this 2-year program, you have the chance to sit in to become certified, just like becoming a certified personal trainer or strength conditioning coach. We have to do the same thing. We have to put in the time to study for it and then take the exam once the 2 years is up. And Coleman was there too, and he was super excited. That it was actually last Friday when I found out the results, and man, I almost want to cry because the results, was everything that I worked for. And I was so glad. And Coleman too knew. It was like he kept asking me, he's like, have the results come in yet? And I kept telling him no, and the anxiety just grew on and on. But man, when the results came in and I passed, like, man, it was a feeling like no other. And so yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, and you have a little bit of a Kentucky connection with Will Levis, right? Because you got to work at the Manning Passing Academy, right,
Yep.
last summer, and you got to see Will and see some of those other guys there, right?
You're correct. Yeah. So I did that. One of my professors, he actually recommended me to do that last summer. Coleman said it's the Manning Passing Academy. It's held every year at Nichols State University down in Thibodaux, Louisiana. By far, probably the best, most renowned football camp for all those who want to be quarterbacks and also some receivers. But yeah, like the Mannings, you had Eli, Peyton, and his other brother, I forget his name, and then of course Archie, the father. They host it every year in the month of June, and they put on a phenomenal camp. And they have a ton of like current college football quarterbacks. Obviously Will Levis was there, Bryce Young was there, Anthony Richardson, and people like that caliber. and they, like I said, they do a really good job, and I really recommend it for anyone out there who has children in high school and middle school wanting to have their the kids excel in football as a quarterback, receiver. Really recommend it.
So that, I mean, yeah, that's so cool that you got to like be there, like on the field with all those guys and get to see them in person. I mean, that's pretty cool. And I didn't even know that it was in Louisiana, like of all places, in Thibodaux too. It's like kind of a random place to have that at Nichols State down there.
Right.
But well, now Stephen, talk a little bit about what you're about to go do, what you're leaving to go do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's kind of bittersweet. Obviously, leaving Louisiana after 2 years, it kind of grew on me a little bit. But like I said, this is my calling to be in the NFL as an athletic trainer. It's been so for a while. But yeah, I'm heading to Atlanta tomorrow. Actually, I landed a seasonal NFL athletic training internship with the Atlanta Falcons. I actually found out, true fact, by the way, I found out the day that I had got the job when we beat Bama, November 5th. I found that far in advance.
A good day.
Yeah, it was. I'll tell you what, Ken, it was a really good day. So just having that, the win, and then the news that I had the job.
Now, I remember when that happened. I mean, Steven walked in like after, because I had watched the game at a friend's house and I had just gotten home. And I mean, I thought I stayed out late. I mean, I stayed out till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning at my friend's house. I thought Steven would be home. Still not home yet. So Steven walks in after me. I'm like, man, what a win. And he's like, well, yeah. He says like all just like with a straight face. He's like, honestly, it's probably one of the best days of my life because I got a job at the Atlanta Falcons today.
Yep.
So yeah, what a heck of a sort of 1-2 punch there. So
yeah. So I'll be going down there. So this coming week, Monday will be my first day. And some of the veterans will be there. They have some kind of like mandatory mini camps going on and OTAs, where they run like some 7-on-7 drills, stuff like that. Some light contact drills, just to kind of get them ready for what's to come during training camp. Obviously, training camp is the big event, the big all the big practice sessions right before the season starts. So it's just kind of just to prep them for that time and just to keep them in conditioning and in shape as well. So obviously there has to be some kind of medical coverage in case anything goes down and whatnot. So but I'm excited to get out there. Like I said, this is my dream, and I've only been to Atlanta one time, so I'm just excited to experience more of it. And so yeah.
Well, and I mean that's just all awesome. And this is how small of a world it really is. Logan Woodside, who I played just for 1 year. I was just my freshman year. I played basketball for Franklin County High School. Logan Woodside was also on the basketball team. He is now playing quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. So, and it's just like a small world, saying I don't even know if he'll remember me, Stephen, but I'm sure you'll see him at some point. And it's just crazy how just my whole life's like coming together before my eyes here lately.
For sure, yeah.
But man, Stephen, thanks for coming on, and just I'm so happy for you. And excited to see what you do and like where your career goes and everything. And I've been wanting to have you on for a while, and thought now was as good of a time as ever. So
I appreciate the both of y'all, Caden and Coleman. It's been a blast. So appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
Hey, remember us when you're famous.
Oh, of course.
Famous. Went on talking that one time with those guys.
Yeah. And I know y'all gonna make it big too one day. So we're
hey,
right next to KSR, if not even bigger. So
yeah, that's right. See, Caden, if
take that, Matt Jones.
If you live with me, you quickly begin to know what KSR is, and all about Kentucky sports. So Stephen's become an honorary both KSR and Kentucky fan in the 2 years he's lived with me. So
the way it should be. Yeah.
It is. But Stephen, thanks for coming on again. We'll let you go now. We'll get on with our episode here. But really appreciate it, man.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right. See you, man. Go Cats, go Falcons, Caden.
Yeah, go Falcons.
That's right. I missed one holiday. It's Adele's birthday today. I don't know how I could have missed that, but it is indeed Adele's birthday.
She's still singing? Haven't heard much about her recently.
I don't know. I haven't either. But she's a good singer, Caden. I mean, she can actually. A lot of these pop people can't actually sing, but Adele can actually sing. You know, I feel
she's
like
got that smoky. She's got like that smoky, raspy voice, but she pulls it off.
Reminds me of the episode. You said you still singing. Reminds me of the episode. You said you still smoking.
That's what I thought about too. Right after I said that.
Yeah.
It was like a 10-second silence. So you still smoking?
So that's right.
Cody does not smoke, by the way. We're talking about
we're talking about barbecue.
Barbecuing.
Yeah, we're talking about barbecue. Well, we have a lot of stuff to get into, and obviously the biggest news is the Hunter Dickinson news going to Kansas, which Caden absolutely called a couple weeks ago on the show when he said that Hunter Dickinson is a Kansas prototype, which is absolutely true. It ended up being 100% correct.
That's the easiest prediction I've ever made.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no doubt. So we're going to get into that a little bit. We had Steven on as our first, sort of guest for the summer. We already announced that we're going to have Freddie Maggard on the show at some point this summer. And then last but not least, well, not last, hopefully we line up some more guests too, but I have another exciting guest that's coming on the show that I wanted to go ahead and announce on here. And that's Corey Price. Corey Price is going to be coming on the show at some point this summer. He's a statistician for UK football. He's the guy that Matt Jones always quotes on his Twitter account and on KSR, the dude that's always figuring out these like crazy stats. Like, the last time Kentucky beat Missouri was on a Tuesday with vanilla ice cream. And, just like how do you find these stats, man? It's crazy. So, Caden, I'm excited to have him on the show.
Yeah, I am too. The stats and everything always interests me. I thought it was really cool when he found that one website about literally any stat you could think of. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to talking to him.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So I wanted to announce that he's going to be coming on the show at some point too. But let's just get right into it with the biggest Kentucky news with the Hunter Dickinson stuff. Caden, are you surprised that Hunter Dickinson picked Kansas?
When I figured out how much money they were paying him, no.
Yeah, well, I thought your answer was just going to be no. I mean, I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, even with the money, I'm not surprised anymore that we lose these guys.
He never seemed like the guy that would really fit in at UK.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're going back to. Like, and we both said this on the show, that he seems like a Kansas guy. I don't know how to explain that. Like, how can we explain that somebody feels like a Kansas guy? Because he does, right? He feels like he just seems like a Kansas prototype. I could just not visualize him in a Kentucky uniform, and people were putting out graphics of him in a Kentucky uniform. It just didn't feel right. Yeah, just didn't look right. So how do you explain that? How can we know this? How can we look at Hunter Dickinson's face and be like, he's going to Kansas?
I feel like, I can't think of any names off the top of my head, but they've had so many guys like that, right? Just like the big kind of arrogant seeming like centers, that are actually pretty good, and you hate playing them.
Well, he didn't play well against Kentucky when he played us. So Oscar kind of shut him down, which surprised me because Oscar usually struggles against those kind of guys, right? So,
what's his name at Gonzaga? So it kind of reminds me of Drew Timme.
What was the stat that you sent me that there's like Kansas is going to pay him $4 million? Is that right?
Yeah,
it's like
an
NIL deal. Mm-hmm. Which that's I wanted to get into this. So the whole thing with the
2 year, $4 million.
$4 million a year.
2 year. So they doing contracts these days? It's like
the
NBA.
That's what I'm saying. I thought the only stipulation with NIL is that like the one rule that you cannot do is you can't say to a player, we're going to pay you, we're going to guarantee you this amount of money to come here. Like you can't pay to play. And then there's the sort of the other end of that argument is like, well, it's not the school promising the money, it's the school's collective. You're splitting hairs at that point. And I guess technically on paper it could be legal. But Caden, that just feels wrong. I feel like that's going to change at some point. I feel like that's going to shut down. And apparently that's the biggest reason that we didn't get Hunter Dickinson is because Calipari and Kentucky are refusing to do that. We don't guarantee money because we is Kentucky.
I think it's a complete gray. Everything's a gray area now, and anything goes. I think, as I said before, NIL is ruining everything. And Coleman, we might need to get into something like horse racing.
Yeah, we might.
Josh says, I think that Oscar is coming back because of Lance Ware and Hunter Dickinson. You know, Josh, I thought that at first, but I'm not too confident anymore.
Oh, yeah. Well, I forgot Lance Ware's entering the transfer portal. Caden, give me your best Lance Ware memory. All right, moving on. So that's our Lance Ware wrap up there. And Caden, I hate to say, I mean, I don't want to bash on the kid, but like, I'm not sad that I don't feel like we're missing out on anything that Lance is leaving. I mean, he did some good things when he was here.
He was a fighter. You have to give him that.
He was a fighter, but like, was he really contributing anything? I don't know.
I mean, I just figured I think he can find success elsewhere. Honestly,
I think I could see him going to like Providence or something.
But this is another thing. How many years will he have left? It's like you can just go to college whenever you want and for how long you want these days, and you can make as much money as you want. So
and what's with these COVID eligibilities things? Everybody's like, oh yeah, it's his extra year of COVID. It's like, well, I thought that ended. Like, there's people that were still in high school that are getting like COVID extra year eligibilities now. I think I don't even.
They're still saying the COVID. You get COVID years. Clyde says, "Are you Caden? Are you that down, bro? What am I? Do I seem down? Yeah, I'm down on basketball. Is that what he's talking about?
Well, I think he's talking about the Oscar not coming back thing.
Oh, right now, I still don't think he's coming back.
I don't think Oscar's coming back. I would be very surprised if Oscar comes back. But like, I mean, I could see it now because what big guys do we have? Bradshaw and Ugana. That's it, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have anybody else. That's going to be an issue. We got to have somebody. But I mean, this is the ongoing question: do we want Oscar back?
Yes.
Okay, so you think we do? Because there's a lot of people that say Oscar's not going to work with this roster we have coming in next year.
That drives me absolutely crazy when I hear that. You're telling me the National Player of the Year can't work on our roster? The guy that pulls down like 30 rebounds a game can't work with our roster?
Who couldn't use that?
I think we make it work.
Who couldn't use the 30? Who couldn't use the extra 30 rebounds a game? And what NBA team couldn't use that either? I mean, I get that the game in the NBA is different now, and Oscar doesn't really have a outside shooting game.
The game's different now, aka it's worse.
Yeah, it is worse. But like, what? I mean, you tell me a guy that averages a double-double, like, can't find a place on an NBA roster. I'm surprised at that. I feel like there's a lot. At least he'll play, unlike Zion Williamson. Put Oscar on the Pelicans, man. Injured. We'll take him down here in New Orleans for the Pelicans. You know, we'll take him. So, and that. So the other thing I want to get into about all that is the NIL stuff. So we don't want to guarantee anybody any money. Do you agree with that, Caden? Do you think we shouldn't guarantee anybody any money, or do you think that we need to be able to compete for these guys like Hunter Dickinson in the transfer portal?
I mean, that's straight up like Kansas basically straight up said, is what it sounds like. They said, we will pay you $4 million in 2 years. That's not how.
I know. But why doesn't Kentucky do that? Like, what are we missing out on by not doing that? Like, or what are we gaining by not doing that? Right? What's the point of us not guaranteeing money? Because we have the money, I'm sure.
Well, why? Like, I don't think this is the reason why we've had struggles. I don't think it's just because we got to guarantee players money. I think there's other issues here.
It's not, but like, it certainly isn't helping.
But look at our team last year. We had the guys that we wanted. The guys that should have got us past the second round. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's a talent issue. Is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, like, do you think that Cal should be guaranteeing people money like Kansas and Arkansas and all these other schools are?
I mean, I
Or do you
guess
think he's
if
in the
it's,
right?
I guess if you can't get in, it seems like you can't get in trouble for anything these days. So I guess sure, why not?
Yeah. I just don't get, like, is our ego too big? Like, are we not offering people money because we just don't want to? Because we're Kentucky? Josh Hart brings up a very good point here. See, is that it's against the rules, isn't it?
Should be.
I don't know. I mean, are there rules? Because nothing's being enforced. Tennessee's over here doing whatever the hell they want in football, and then Arkansas is getting all these guys to come there and has all this money. I just then
Cracks
Kansas
me
is
up.
doing
Didn't
this
Bruce
$4
Pearl
million.
Bruce Pearl got fired for having a barbecue, and then I see
Yeah,
this
that's right.
headline: Kansas rumored to have offered 2 years, $4 million.
Joe Bologna got in trouble for giving free pizza to some recruits one time. And then Kansas is over here giving people millions of dollars in the boom boom room, which that's something else.
And Snoop.
And Snoop. Have you heard about all this boom room stuff?
I saw something, but I haven't paid any attention to it.
Well,
I try to block out the noise, as Cal would say.
Block out the clutter, right? Yeah. But Caden, I have some primary sources from that have been to the boom boom room in Lawrence, Kansas, that I reached out to get a firsthand take about the boom boom room to see what exactly.
Something about that doesn't sound family friendly to me.
Well, whatever you think the boom boom room is, that's what it is. Okay, that's all I'm really going to say about that. Cody Peevler says, well, the good news is Shaden Sharp didn't make it to the playoffs. Well, so he's not playing basketball. So
and Clyde,
I think he's right where he wants
did
to
not
be.
Get fired. I'm talking about when he was at Tennessee. Yeah, Coleman, when I think of boom boom room, I picture like this really dark room. You open the door, and Snoop Dogg's just sitting there with a blunt or something, and a bunch of really bad things going on in this room. That's what I picture.
So here's some of the text I got about the boom boom room. I was there once and can confirm it's raunchy. It's the bottom floor of this bar that basically anyone under 21 goes to, and it's more club-like, really dark.
Under 21?
Under 21. Yeah, and apparently the bar that the boom boom room is in is called the Hawk. And people go down to this. Now, Caden, we had like 2 Keys and tin roof and stuff at Kentucky, but we didn't have no boom boom room. We didn't have nothing like this, right?
Not that we know of.
Well, yeah, I mean, we definitely didn't know about it. We wouldn't have been, if there was a boom boom room, Caden and I would not have been there, even if it did exist. But yeah, I can't think of anything remotely like the boom boom room that would have been in Lexington. I mean, what's Lexington's equivalent of the boom boom room?
I can't tell you.
I don't think there is one, right? And that's the other thing I want to talk about is facilities. So apparently Hunter Dickinson said Kentucky's facilities are like way behind, and that's been a common theme among recruits. Like everybody has said that Kentucky's facilities are too old, like they're way behind everybody else's. Are they really? Do you think they really are? Do you think our facilities suck that bad at Kentucky for recruits to say that?
My response is, why does it matter? I mean, was it Inner Game of Tennis that he talked about these random places in the middle of nowhere that had nothing?
It wasn't Inner Game of Tennis, but I know what you're talking about. I know what book you're talking about.
It was some self-help book like that. But
yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really like that argument either. Like,
or could it be that the basketball practice facility is across the street from the Fine Arts building at UK? The recruits see the Fine Arts building and think that they can't come here because that facility is too bad.
Yeah, if they go in that Fine Arts building, they're not coming.
Yeah, now that I could see. If you're talking about those facilities, I could see where you'd say those are behind the 8 ball. That's for sure. But, well, Yeah. So Hunter Dickinson going to Kansas. And none of us are surprised. And hopefully Oscar comes back and we'll all will be right in the world. So who's this other dude we're supposed to get? Rob, not Dillingham, Rob Holland. Is that his
Yeah,
name?
isn't he a guard or something?
I thought he was a guard. Yeah, everybody's saying Rob Holland's coming. That the Oscar and Lance and Dickinson. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? Rob Holland is a guard.
Yeah, we're
Am
gonna
I
have
the
to
only one
tune
that thinks that?
guards. How many
What's
guards
that?
are we gonna have? How many guard is Antonio Reeves coming back?
I don't know. We're going to be the opposite of Louisville last year. Louisville didn't have a single guard on their roster last year, and they went 4-28. So Ron Holland, not Rob Holland. Yeah. Okay, I see that. I got you.
We are getting Rob Dillingham though. He's like for sure playing, right?
He it's tentatively.
Well, you can't. I guess you can't say for sure these days, but he's supposed to be.
Yeah, he's going to be on the team now. Whether he'll play or not, that's a different question. But yeah, I think he's going to be on campus at least. Okay, and I went to an LSU baseball game last week. It was LSU and Alabama, and I didn't know that LSU Alabama series was going to turn into a national story on ESPN. Caden, have you heard about all this Alabama snafu that's happening with Alabama baseball?
No.
Okay, you haven't heard anything about this? Been all over.
No, I block out the clutter.
Okay, I forgot you block out the clutter like Cal. Okay, that makes sense. Well, so Alabama announced an hour before their game on Friday that their star pitcher is going to be out of the game. Then a very large bet was placed in Cincinnati, Ohio at Great American Ballpark, the Cincinnati Reds Stadium. Okay. Like, I don't know how much it was, but it wasn't $100 bet. It was like, probably thousands of dollars. And it comes out later that the Alabama baseball coach leaked that allegedly, I don't want to get sued, allegedly leaked that Alabama's star pitcher was going to be out for the game. And so this dude in Cincinnati put a real large sum of money on LSU, who ended up winning the game and sweeping Alabama in the series. So Alabama's baseball coach has since been fired for this, and it's potentially even a criminal offense. And Caden, this is what people were sort of worried about with sports betting and everything in Kentucky. So what's your take on all that? I mean, are you do you think this happens more often than we think?
So why do they think why do they think it was leaked?
Because I mean, it happened like right before the game, like an hour before the game, and
there's millions of people in this country. Like how?
There's
people are gonna bet both ways.
Apparently, there's evidence of the Bama coach talking to this dude that made the bet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's another piece. I haven't read the whole story, but I think that's another piece of the pie here. That's insane, isn't it? I mean, like,
I'm surprised this is the first time we're hearing about this kind of thing, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it happens more often than we think.
All the time. Yeah.
I bet it does happen. And so there's probably, and apparently there's protections in the NFL and like professional sports about this, where you have to put out your roster further in advance so that this kind of last minute betting kind of thing can't happen. But there's no rule against that for college sports, but there probably is going to be now. So,
yeah. And if he's going to do that, if he's going to bet, like, don't throw $100,000 down, because it's kind of like Coleman when you're cheating on a test and you're like, you're cheating, like it's like a short answer. You don't, you don't write the same exact thing as the person you're cheating off of. It's kind of right. Like in this betting thing. When you bet $100,000, it looks a little fishy.
Yeah, well, it's a little fishy. Yeah, that's
true.
I'm
not promoting cheating, by the way, but I'm just saying you can't do that.
Yeah, we don't cheat. Yeah, we're not cheaters here in Talkin, Kentucky. We're not Tennessee fans. So yeah, it's crazy. Okay, what's next time? Well, let's go ahead and open up the phones, and we'll hear from you about Hunter Dickinson, about sports betting, about anything you want to talk about. at 502-234-1504. Give us a shout. We'd love to hear from you. Josh Hart is in the comments. He says, speaking of bets, I still want to put $100 on Rocket Can. Caden, you can watch the Derby tomorrow? You excited to watch some horses run for the roses?
Well, I'm going out of town tomorrow, so it just depends where I'm at. I will try to watch it, though.
Oh, it's an all-day event for me. Did you ever go to the Derby breakfast in Frankfurt?
No.
You never did? It used to be a really big event. Now it's kind of went way downhill the past few years, but it used to be a huge event. There was this huge tent at the governor's mansion, free buffet breakfast for everybody. And it was like Frankfurt's day to shine.
Like
and yeah, I know. And it used to be like Derby used to be like an all day thing. It's sort of gone downhill lately. But what I don't understand is Thurby. That's becoming a thing now, which Thurby is nothing. There is nothing on Thurby. It's just an excuse to drink. It's like, well, it's Thurby. It's Thursday of Derby week. I'm just going to go drink. Like, that's all it is. And I feel like that's part of like Louisiana. Like, obviously Thurby's in Kentucky, but Louisiana, I feel like just has excuses to drink all the time. Like St. Patrick's Day, there's parade. Mardi Gras is the biggest just like excuse to drink ever. I mean, what
Houston
do you
had the rodeo.
Yeah,
Houston had the rodeo every year. That was
right.
like a 1 or 2 week long thing. They did the same thing.
Yep, the fried Oreos That don't they have fried everything at the rodeos?
I never tried it.
I've never had a fried Oreo.
Sounds pretty good.
I mean, depending on how you look at it, I guess it sounds pretty good. I've never tried a fried Oreo, a fried Twinkie, a fried anything like that. But in any case,
Clyde
know what?
Says he got invited to the G League. Antonio Reeves. I forgot about that. I did see that. Coleman, do you think he'll go?
For a second, I thought you were talking about that Clyde got invited to the G League, and I was going to call BS on that. But Antonio Reeves, I could see that. That's for sure. I'm going to make sure our phones aren't on idle here or anything because I forgot to do that before the show.
Occurrence.
Yeah, it is a common occurrence, especially when you host the show. I feel like you've gotten stuck with that.
I'm over here.
I'm calling it. Looks like it's working. So like,
call ended.
Well, yeah, and you even heard the speaker there. So I need to take the iPad off the speaker here. So that needs to even out here. Okay, there we go. So yeah, give us a shout if you want. 502-234-1504. We'll go and keep those phones open, and we'll take a call whenever we get one in. You know, that's one thing that's KSR has it nice, Caden, because Shannon can answer calls. He can put people on hold, right? And then they can take the calls when they want. But we have to take the calls as we get them. Like Clyde Harris calling in right now. So I like have to answer. Otherwise, Clyde's going to be gone. So we just have to stop what we're doing and take calls. But I mean, that's how we roll here in Talkin Kentucky. But what's up, Clyde? How you doing?
Doing good. I actually get to go to my house tonight.
Oh yeah. How's everything going with your mom, right?
Yeah, she's doing good. She's actually at Cardinal Hill now. She went there yesterday. So they're going to do physical therapy on her and stuff. And been here cooped up kind of at my sister and her husband's apartment for 2 weeks now, and I'm ready to go home.
I bet. No doubt, man. Well, I'm glad to get to go home, and I'm glad everything's going better for sure. So we'll continue to pray for you.
Thank you. And I'm actually not even that crazy about the Kentucky Derby like everybody else. I've never betted on a single horse in my life, and I don't even drink on the Derby. And quite frankly, I really don't like to drink. Period. Now if it's like a Baja Blast Mountain Dew alcohol beverage, which I've had that, it's really good. Or if it's Kentucky Bourbon or Jack Daniels, I'll have that. But
there you go.
Other than that, I'm not a big drinker kind of guy, and that's just not really my forte anymore.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. One Kentucky Derby drink I don't like is a mint julep. Have you ever had a mint julep, Clyde or Caden?
I've heard of them, but never had one.
Never have
Yeah,
one.
I've had it.
Caden, have you had one?
Yeah, I think Aaron made me one time. It's pretty good.
You think it's good? So you like the whole? I mean, to me, it tastes like you're taking sugar and bourbon and then pouring toothpaste in it. That's what mint julep tastes like to
The
me.
one he made me was pretty good. Now, I probably wouldn't get it at the Derby because I'm sure it would cost $50, but
Right. Yeah. Oh, at least. Yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, you guys were talking about, we are short on big men this upcoming season, and we are looking at this guy out of North Dakota State, this tall white dude who's got some skill to him.
Yep.
Grant Nielsen is his name, out of North Dakota State. And, congratulations to Oscar today for becoming the first person in his family to graduate from college. That's a big deal for him and his family. I couldn't be more proud of him. The way he carries himself, the type of role model he is. I just really do appreciate and love Oscar. And he's such a great young man, and hopefully he does whatever he thinks is best for him and his family. He's just such a man of God, and, you just love it, and you love seeing the type of positivity he carries with himself. He's just a gentle giant. He's one of the best. I don't think you're going to find a human like Oscar. I mean, he's just, I don't think you're going to find the kind of kind soul like him. And honestly, he kind of reminds me of an old soul. Like I feel like he has that old soul, good vibes to him.
He does. He does. I know. How could you not love Oscar? That's why. So, Clyde, would you like? Are you of the opinion that if Oscar comes back, it's going to be good for us, or would you rather move on?
I want Oscar back. To be honest, I think whatever role Cal wants to put him in next year, I think Oscar is willing to just accept that role, because we need these other guys to really, really elevate and do their thing. And, Oscar can help out with that. I mean, Oscar's been in this program for 2 years, so he knows how Cal is, and he knows how Cal coaches, and, Oscar trusts Cal, and, Oscar listens to Cal. I mean, this past season, him and Oscar didn't really see eye to eye, Cal and Oscar, but really, I mean, there might have been other things going on. I mean, we don't know, but there could have been other things going on. And this past season was a mess anyway, so there was more than just Oscar and Cal going on. It was the entire team that couldn't really just click like we thought they would have. They just could. They didn't flip a switch. They didn't really do anything, and that's also on Cal's fault too, because he's the coach, and he tries to get these guys prepared. So hopefully he does a better job this year. I don't know if you all have seen, but I don't know if the Duke Thiero and Uganda, their body transformation. Have you?
Oh yeah, I've seen. Well, I haven't seen Adu's. I've seen Uganda's. Caden, have you seen Uganda's body transformation?
Yeah, I saw Brady posting all that.
Brady gets him right. Cool. That's right.
Yeah,
it's Caden's cousin over there getting him right. Yeah.
Wait, is that really his cousin?
Yeah.
Brady Wells is Caden's cousin?
You didn't know that?
Clyde, I think we've said this every episode, Clyde.
Yeah. yeah. Brady and Caden are their family.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Well, Caden, he should send you personal workout pictures of the guys. Then, I mean, hell, y'all are family. You should send.
Well, we're family, but I honestly didn't speak to him until I realized he got the job. We went up there and saw him, but so we didn't grow up together or anything. So yeah, he's my cousin, but we weren't close.
Oh well, I got some. I try to stay as close to my cousins as possible if I know they exist.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I didn't know he existed.
Sometimes you just got family after that you don't know that exists. To be honest with you, sometimes you just don't know. I could have been in the store the other day and walked past a family member that I didn't know about. I mean, it happens to everybody.
You could. Well, Claude, if you had to give a prediction of Oscar being back or not, what do you think?
I'm going to go with a 70% and like 30% that he doesn't come back. But I'm going to go 70. I should really go 60 or 65. But, yeah, I still think there's a chance that he doesn't come back. And I still think that, with him working out with the Boston Celtics, I don't know.
So you think there's a 70% chance that he will be back?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I might as well just say a 65% chance that he comes back, but we'll just have to see, and hopefully we get some news soon. That's all I'm hoping.
Oh, me too. Well, thanks for calling in as always, Clyde. Hope everything continues to go well.
Appreciate you all. Thank you. And I'm going to get back to watching the show.
All right, man. Thanks. 502-234-1504. We'd love to hear from you. Give us a shout. Caden, have you heard about this McDonald's 10-year-olds thing? I'm sure you've heard about this, haven't you? Or do you not listen to this?
I'm going to need more information.
You don't listen to, I guess you really don't listen to the clutter. This has been it's been on the Today Show, I think, too. In Louisville, McDonald's got caught with 10-year-olds being working in their restaurant. And this was in Louisville. Of course, they weren't paying them either. But yeah, apparently they were working the drive-through. 10-year-olds.
Problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. How does that?
I'm assuming they're family with some of the workers.
But how do you think that you're gonna get away with that? Like who made that decision? How do you think that's gonna play out? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't really thought through.
I don't think it's thought through either.
Were their parents even there?
And the fact it was in Louisville, yeah, who knows? The fact it was in Louisville too, of all places. What would you do if you went to McDonald's, you pulled up and there's a 10-year-old handing you your McFlurry? I mean, would you just take it and go?
I mean, I would think it was a joke.
Kind of question some things? Would you contact the authorities?
I wouldn't think that meant they were working there full time. I would just kind of laugh about it and think that their parents with them and then leave.
Well, it wouldn't cross my mind either that they would be like, oh, that 10-year-old, they're probably a full-time employee at McDonald's. Yeah, that definitely wouldn't cross my mind.
Their bills to pay.
Yeah, it's tough out there, man. Yeah, it's, this economy and everything. So,
anyways,
did you hear about this Nebraska? Well, I'm sure if you didn't hear about the McDonald's or the Alabama baseball coach, I'm sure you didn't hear about this. So I'm not even going to ask you. Nebraska volleyball sold out a match in their football stadium. Caden, how many people do you think bought tickets to this Nebraska volleyball match? It's old Riley Lloyd territory over there.
20,000.
Try 82,000 people for this
80,000 people fit in that football stadium.
Yep.
Goodness.
Hey, LSU's got 102,000 they can fit in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So why? What's the story on this? Why is this match so important?
No, Nebraska volleyball is that's the Kentucky basketball or Alabama football of volleyball. Nebraska, they love it out there. So, that's part of it. But even so, 82,000 people. That's insane, isn't it?
That's insane. You think Kentucky basketball could sell out a crowd like that?
Not right now. No. Are we going to have any good? Who do we get? Do we have to play Kansas next year? Are we going to play Hunter Dickinson next year? I don't even know. Does anybody know in the comments?
Don't we play them every year?
I mean,
for the challenge, the Big 12 challenge or whatever.
We're not it's the Big 12 challenge, but we don't have to play Kansas every year. Like we played Texas Tech. Yeah. We were going to play Texas that one year, and then we chickened out.
Yeah, the Devin Askew here when they had Devin Askew. Yeah,
yeah.
I was looking forward to that.
So, I was going to mention this when Steven's on because he was he's a huge Packers fan. Caden Randall Cobb is leaving the Packers and going to go join Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Do you have any comment on that? Does that mean anything to you?
No.
All right, cool. Moving on. You had about as much to say about that as you did Lance Ware there. So, okay.
In all seriousness, I don't want to bash Lance Ware because I think he'll succeed somewhere.
Yeah, he will. He will.
It was just, I figured he would go. I wasn't very surprised by that.
It's just fun. But Claude says, yes, Champions Classic. We play Hunter and Kansas. Okay, gotcha. I also like Claude's profile picture he's got going here with all the guys coming in next year.
Mm-hmm.
I saw somebody commented on Claude's. He changed that profile picture the other day, and somebody said you're like way ahead of yourself or something like that. And Claude said it's always basketball season, man. Like I'm ready. Like I live and breathe basketball. I was like, heck yeah. That's a true.
I just want to see a
right
platoon
there.
again. Don't you?
Yeah. Well, yes, I do. But now that we don't have Dickinson, I mean, are we going to be able to platoon? Like, is that still
we need
on the
Oscar
table?
and Reeves and Livingston?
I don't think we're getting Livingston. I don't think that we're getting. I heard Jack Pilgrim say the other day that that's a pipe dream that Livingston's coming back.
Well, maybe
it could happen.
Ron Holland guy will come then.
Who does Ron Holland play for?
Couldn't tell you.
Everybody's like, oh, Ron Holland. You wait till Ron Holland gets here, man. We don't know who he plays for, and we're acting like he's the next Michael Jordan. That Kentucky fans do this all the time, man. And
I just want a platoon. I don't care how good they are.
That's the other thing about Hunter Dickinson is
he's that top 10 pick, wasn't he? He's gonna play for Texas.
Oh, is he that kid?
Yeah, I think he was the 5-star.
Well, maybe he will be the next Hunter Dickinson. I mean, Michael Jordan. Sorry, won't be the next Hunter Dickinson. That's for sure. We got Josh Hart on the phone. How's it going, Josh?
Hey guys, how are y'all tonight?
We're doing well. How are you doing?
Can you hear me okay?
We got you. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you guys. I just want to make sure because I've had really bad service in and out today. I don't know if they've been working on a tower near my home or what, but it's pretty bad earlier. So luckily, I think they've got it fixed. So maybe it'll be good.
Man, he mentions that, and I haven't. Like I've had terrible signal talking to people too. So
I've had bad signal lately.
Thing.
It must be a nationwide thing, because I haven't had great signal lately. So yeah, well,
anyway. I mean, there is supposed to be a meteor shower sometime between 3 a.m. and dawn tomorrow night, or into Saturday morning. Haley's Comet or something's coming back, or something like that. So maybe it's some disrupting the service somehow, or maybe I don't know.
Well, they say Haley's Comet, don't they say Haley's Comet passes by the Earth every 7 million years? I feel like it's happened 7 times in my life so far. Don't you feel like that?
Every week it's like, oh, you better watch this. Yeah. It's not going to happen for another 10 billion years.
Yeah.
Right.
So
my take of the Oscars, I hope he comes back, and I'll give you, I don't know if you guys saw my comment or not, it's just for experience level. I think it would be good for the team, and I think him seeing Levis drop out of the top first round like that, I think that might scare him coming back, because he might not be his first rounder. Even though he's a good player, he had a rough season last year. So that's my take. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he comes back, his numbers aren't going to be as good as they even were last year, just because of the nature of how the team is going to play. So I don't think his draft stock is really going to increase any. Then it will. So I don't think that's a reason for him to come back. But if he's not going to go make money in the G League, I think he can come back and make more, just as much or more than he would, going pro next year. So I think there's a lot of incentive for him to coming back. But, I've also heard there's a lot of blocks with him not being an American citizen. Like there's a lot of stuff that he can't do. So it's hard to say. Where do you
If
think?
he could get, say, say he gets $1 million in NIL or even $2 million for some reason. Okay, that's still more money than you're probably going to make in the G League.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. And I think he made that last year. I think Oscar probably made 7 digits last year. I don't think that's public knowledge. You know, I don't think you can necessarily find that out anywhere, but I bet he did. What do you think about all this, Caden?
Yeah, what's he gonna make in the G League? Like 50 grand or something. So
I don't know if it's 50 grand. He's not going to make a trumpet professor salary. I think he'll
it's
make
funny
like
we mentioned 50 grand, and it's like acting like that's not much for them, and that's like doing well for most of us if we're making 50 grand. It's so sad, but like
it's like
if he comes back, he's gonna make literally like 10 times what he can make in the G League. So I think he should come back, and I don't know. I don't think numbers are that important. I mean, you look at Daniel Orton. He averaged like 2 points and a rebound a game, and he was in the first round. So I don't think the numbers are important. And I don't, if he just has a decent season again, I don't know how it will hurt him, you know?
Yeah.
I think he wants to come back to prove all the doubters wrong, because he got doubted on a lot last year. And I think he'll come back with a chip on his shoulder. And I honestly, I hope he does come back, because we lost Lance Ware. Yeah, Ware wasn't the best, but he was still productive. And then I didn't think we was ever going to get Hunter. I'm with you, Caden. I think he was going to go to Kansas the whole time. So
Prototype.
it is, you know.
Yeah, prototype. Caden was just calling it there. Yeah, he said prototype. So,
but I put a comment up when you had your friend on earlier, and I don't think you guys seen it, but I guess it's still up there, but it's probably way down the page. There's been 12 players that play, or awarded number 50 at the University of Kentucky, and 6 of them were from actually the state of Kentucky. So I thought that was pretty cool.
oh, dang, that's a good stat. Yeah, Caden found it here and put it up on the screen. So 12 players have worn the number 50 jersey. 6 of the 12 are from the state of Kentucky. That's what we need more of. I think that's honestly an underrated or undervalued statistic, is having Kentucky players play for Kentucky, at least on the basketball side of things, because that matters. That passion, I feel like that matters. Every
Just
title
means more.
won,
Like the SEC, just means more.
just means more. Every title we've won, we've had a kid from Kentucky on the team.
Well, you think about back in the early '90s when Phil House and Farmer and Travis Ford and John Pelfrey, most of them were Kentucky boys. Richie Farmer, Kentucky boys. You know, they're all Kentucky kids. That's like Reed Shepherd coming in. I think he'd probably stay at least 3, maybe if not all 4 years.
Yep.
Because he's a thoroughbred, and his dad was great, Jeff Shepherd. So I mean, that's what we need to really. I think we should focus on people that want to be somewhere for 3 to 4 years instead of one and done. But I don't make big money. That's Kyle's deal, and you know, much.
Oh, did we lose him? I think we just lost. I think we just lost Josh.
Service.
Josh, call back. We lost you. He might be calling back right now. Actually, I think we're getting one from him. Let's see if this works. Josh, do you got us? Let's see. Josh, I think we lost you. We got us now.
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, good.
So
it's that meteor shower.
Haley's comment.
But,
Cut the signal.
As much as I like the one and done kids, and they're very talented, I think we need Kentucky talent to play at the UK.
I think we do too.
Amen.
I completely agree with that. Well, so Josh, do you think Oscar's coming back? If you had to put your numbers on it, what would you say?
I think if I was a bet man, I'd bet that he comes back. Just like I want to put money on Rocket Can tomorrow. So I think that horse is going to win tomorrow, and I think our big horse and the big O is going to come back. I really do. I think if he was going to go, I think he would already announce that because of all the big news going on. So being quiet, maybe that's a good sign. So I think we need him, and I think it'd be very valuable to the young men that's coming into our program next year.
There we
If
go.
Rocket Can wins, Oscar's coming back. Mark it down.
That would be a big day. That would be almost as big as Stevens' day with getting the Falcons job and beating Alabama if Rocket Cam wins and Oscar comes back. I think that'd be huge. But all right, Josh. Well, thanks for calling in as always.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I love the show. It's just going to get bigger and better, and you guys are way better than KSR.
Well,
we need to clip that and send it to Matt Jones.
Matt Jones is a jerk, so I'd rather talk to you guys. You guys are not jerks.
Well, that's you saying that, not us. But all right. But thank you. We appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. There you go, Caden. We're better than KSR because Josh said so.
Yeah. He didn't even laugh about it. He's dead serious.
Yeah, he was. Dead giveaway there. No doubt. Patrick Mahomes is going to give the Riders Up command at the Derby. Last year was Jack Harlow, who's obviously from Kentucky. They always get like a famous dude to do it. But Caden, do you feel like it should be somebody that like has a connection to Kentucky?
Yes.
Yeah. So like what's Patrick Mahomes have to do with anything? Like, why is he there?
I
first of all, do you know
you
who Patrick Mahomes is?
Well, I mean, of course I've heard of Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, well, who is it?
Was he the one that made the big political statement a few years back?
No, that was Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Colin Kaepernick, okay.
Do you know who Patrick Mahomes is?
Well, a football player, obviously.
Yeah, he's a football player.
I couldn't tell you who he plays for.
Well, why don't you guess? Who do you think Patrick Mahomes plays for?
No clue. I couldn't guess.
Well, I think you should guess.
No.
Clyde says Patricia Mahomes.
Patricia Mahomes.
Okay, well, Clyde spoiled it here. He said he's the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Cool. So yeah, he shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But so what if Rocket Can wins the Derby tomorrow? Is that our best scoop ever besides the Hunter Dickinson scoop or prediction?
Well, we've had more scoops than that, haven't we?
Like what or not scoop, but what other good predictions have we had? We almost had Keon Brooks to Arizona, and then he went to Washington, like every other Kentucky player that enters the transfer portal. But
yeah, I can't think.
We've
definitely had more predictions there, but
there's a bunch of horses that have been scratched in the Derby. There's at least 4, maybe 5 horses that have been scratched in the Derby. Sometimes you hear of 1, maximum 2, but to have 4 or 5 horses scratched in the Derby, I don't know what's going on, Caden. There's something weird happening.
Yeah. Well, all I know is Rocket Can has the best odds, especially after we talked him up.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. Well, and he opened at 30-1, and then shortly after the betting odds came out, he dropped to 15-1. And I just have to wonder if we had something to do with that.
It's the only logical conclusion I can think of.
I think so. One thing I want to start doing now and over the summer is, Caden, you know, and all of our viewers know, we're number 23 in the country. In 2023, we're ranked as number 23 on FeedSpot's list of top 80, the top 80 podcasts of 2023, of sports podcasts at least. So, Caden, I thought to learn more about, what we could do better for the year ahead to try to jump up those rankings and try to get top 10 next year, as Josh always says to us, is kind of go up the list here and listen to clips of the shows that are above us. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So we were number 23, obviously, and I'm on the little FeedSpot blog here. I always try to show my screen on the, well, there you go. I always try to show my screen on the camera, but it doesn't show because of the virtual background. But it also shows our Twitter followers. and everything, Twitter follower and Facebook follower numbers, which is hilarious because everyone around us has like tens of thousands of Twitter followers, and we have 22, which is kind of hilarious. But Talking Kentucky, Coleman and Caden talk all the latest Kentucky sports news along with ridiculous topics that don't matter. Number 23, Talking Kentucky. Number 22 is the Propulsion Swimming Podcast out of the United Kingdom. Welcome to the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. Kick back and join us as we celebrate the world of swimming every week. Whether you want to learn how to swim, hear funny incidents from our swimming lives, or simply find out the latest news from pools and clubs around the world, be sure to tune in every Thursday. So, Caden, they do their show on Thursday nights, it sounds like. So maybe it was a good move moving to Friday. What'd you think?
It's interesting to me that people, like, for example, they probably think this about our trumpet background, but like people being so like dedicated to swimming, they got their own podcast on swimming. Like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They probably think if we had a trumpet podcast, they probably think, why are these guys doing a trumpet podcast?
And why not? Yeah.
Everyone has their own thing, you know?
Well, I thought we'd listen to at least a little bit of this podcast, and maybe we listen to like, I don't know, Ken, you think I should start somewhere in the middle, or you think I should just play a little bit of it from the beginning?
Just drop it somewhere.
Drop it somewhere in the middle. Okay, cool. So that's what we'll do here. So yeah, I've got the thing pulled up here. I've got their most recent episode pulled up here, which is episode 157. So they've been around longer than us, presumably. Juggling jobs and mastering freestyle distances. So I don't know what that means, but we're gonna give this a little play here, and we're just gonna listen to this. So like you said, we'll start somewhere in the middle. So here we go here.
And then that will then translate into that 0.5, but it's not put in a time emphasis on it, which you don't want them to get hung up on, especially at an early age, because you need to enjoy it. And the only way you're going to stay in the sport and move through is
got the accent,
if you enjoy it.
Good.
I like it. Process driven. I don't know how many times we've said it on this podcast. I can kind of almost ignore the time, but you just think about the process. Like you were saying, the dolphin kicks, think about the streamline, dive entry if you're talking about first to 15. Yeah, all of those sort of things is obviously the main thing from an age group point of view. I completely agree.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they have already...
Wait, now let's listen to their intro. I got to hear their intro song.
Okay. Actually, I don't even know if they have an intro song. Let's listen to their intro here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Propulsion Swimming Podcast. Time for our third talk following the British champs with another swimmer who has made the World Championships team in Japan. And on this week's episode, we are speaking to Bath Performance Centre's Luke Turley.
Yeah, our last two episodes with Ollie Morgan and Emily Large have been brilliant, and I feel like this one will be no different as well. Luke is another swimmer that had a great week at British Championships to secure his place on the plane for Japan. And
so there's no intro song. They just start talking.
Right,
I guess since they think they have their British accents, they don't need music to make them sound interesting.
Do you have any clue what they were talking about there?
No, I don't. I don't know anything.
Process and
process
and propulsion something.
Yep. Talking about the mastering freestyle. Yeah, I don't know what any of that means.
Is that like improv?
I guess should we start talking like with our accents more? Like should we step up our accent game and sound like even more redneck than we already do?
Well, they probably already think we sound super redneck, so we probably don't have to step that up.
Well, they sound super British. So, but the question is, are they actually that British, or are they just British-ish?
You see their album cover there? It's like a fan for the O. That's kind of cool.
What's a fan
propulsion?
Have to do with swimming? Well, I guess it's like a boat rudder or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Okay.
Rudder.
Yeah. Well. Okay. So it's on Thursday nights. So, I mean, maybe does that mean that we should switch? Do you think that people would stop watching the Propulsion Swimming podcast to listen to us instead?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even know swimming was a huge draw in that area of the world. So
Josh said they could have They could have had you guys call riders up for the Derby, and I mean that. Anyone other than Punk McCombs. He probably meant Mahomes, but McCombs, Caden, yeah, that's like Caden's name, Caden McCombs. Can you imagine if we did riders up for the Derby? Talking Derby.
Maybe one day.
Oh, sorry, I accidentally took you off the screen instead of Josh's comment. What'd you say?
I said I cannot imagine that, but maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe next year when we're top 10. Maybe we'll get that done. Last thing, a little piece of news I wanted to get to really quick, and this just happened really yesterday, is Cal sort of came out and publicly said, that he wants to finish his contract at Kentucky. He wants to at least finish his 6 years and then maybe stay after that. Tatum, what do you think about that?
It would shock me if he stayed 6 more years. I still think he's probably got one more in him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, do we even trust anything he says anymore? Like, when he says, I'm going to finish out my contract, like, do we even believe that he's going to actually do that?
I don't, but it's interesting that he's been so quiet about that until that came out. Like, it seemed like the writing was on the wall, and then he says that. It's kind of confusing.
It does. It is. We can't keep going the same way that we're going. I mean, something's got to change. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's when he has his own guys and everything. We'll see. That's for sure.
Just hope that includes Oscar.
Josh Hart says he better win a championship next year with all that talent, or it's over. But is it, though? I mean, it'd be over for us. But I mean, there's no way he's leaving, right? So
maybe we just need a boom boom room.
Let's get a boom boom room. Well, that brings me to the name of this episode. We got a lot of options here. We could do Talking Haley's Comet. We could do Talking Boom Boom Room. What are you thinking, Caden?
I think just Talking Boom Boom.
Talking Boom Boom. That's a good one. I think that's great. That could be a good name. I mean, this is episode number 50, so it does need to be a good name. Are we doing Talking Boom Boom?
Yep.
Is that what we're doing? Josh said I can name it after my friend. We can name it Talking Steve. Well, I'm definitely going to put Steven in the comments. So there's definitely going to be, or in the description. So he's definitely going to be in the description. So Talking Boom Boom is too good to not name it that, right? I mean, that's too good. So, well, guys, thanks for listening. We really appreciate it. And you can like us / follow us on Facebook if you don't already. That's where we do most of our stuff. So if you haven't done that, please do it. We're close to 1,000 likes now. We got 1.2 thousand, almost 1.3 thousand followers on Facebook now, but we'd like to get our likes up to 1,000 as well. So give us a like and a follow on Facebook. And help us get those Twitter numbers that we got 22 followers on Twitter. So if you have a Twitter, help us to get that up a little bit more at Talkin_Kentucky, and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're starting to post some funny stuff on there and keep that up to date. Subscribe to Talkin Kentucky on YouTube. And then last but not least, if you want to be like Josh and Steven and who else get one? Caleb Purdue, and you want to get your Talkin Kentucky mug that looks so fancy, then you can support us on our Patreon that Caden has put a link to in the comments there. TalkingKentucky.wordpress.com/support. Do that. Marsha,
Danny Morris with the
oh yeah, that's
every episode.
Every episode, Danny, he doesn't even say anything.
He doesn't miss a beat.
But then at the end of the episode, he always says "Go Cats," and I love it. That's one thing that
we notice you, Danny.
Yeah, about every episode is Danny Morris saying "Go Cats" at the end of the episode. Marsha says, "Sorry, I was watching Sam on Game Changer in Ohio. I'm assuming is Sam her granddaughter?"
It's a good guess. I don't know.
Is it granddaughter or niece or I can't remember who plays that Marsha talks about all the time. But anyway, yeah, okay, granddaughter, yes, gotcha. I nailed it there. Okay, so support us through Patreon if you so desire. Well, for Coleman Scott, for Kane Holmes, for Steven Soto, and for the Boom Boom Room, and for Hunter Dickinson, this has been episode number 50 of Talkin Kentucky. And we'll see y'all next time. Thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you next Friday night. Go Cats. Come back, Oscar.